Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I never know what to do with my hands when I don't film an actual intro. I decided not to today because I think we should be able to get through this declutter pretty quickly. This is everything for my base / my face. And I feel as though for the most part with these products, I either like them or I don't. Some of them I haven't used enough to know, but I should be able to get through this pretty quickly. If you would like to see the other 4 declutters I've done, I will have them down below in the description box. Also, to my next declutter, my last declutter will be my palettes. So if you would like to see that, be sure to stick around and subscribe if you're not already. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get into it. So as I explained last time, these little bins live in my vanity and it's just a way for me to keep everything separated by category, and I'll pull them over as we go. These are the products that are currently in my 2020 project pan. I know I keep saying this, but I am doing it this weekend. I will be filming an update for it and I'll talk about these more in that video. I am going to be swapping out a product in my project pan. For this one, this is the First Aid Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. I'll be talking about that more in that video, as well as all of these, but I did want to show them because they are in my collection. All right, let's get started with some primer type things. These are both oils. I don't reach for either one of these very often because I am trying to use up the Becca Skin Love Glow Elixir that is in my project pan. Of these two, I do use the Flower Beauty one more. This is the Supernova Celestial Skin Elixir. It has a really nice lavender fragrance to it, so if you're not into fragrance, I would avoid this one because it is kind of strong. It looks like it's going to have like shimmer on your face, or it's going to leave shimmer on your face, but I haven't found that to be true. It just gives me a nice healthy glow. And for the Pacifica one, I remember being slightly disappointed by this one. It's called Gem Serum Radiant Drops with watermelon quartz and lemongrass. I thought it was going to smell really yummy, and it really doesn't have much of a scent that I remember. Yeah, I really can't smell anything, and I know that's not necessary to a product to have a fragrance. I don't want there to be an added synthetic fragrance, but I was just expecting something else when I purchased this one. And because I don't reach for it and because I like this one more, I will declutter the Pacifica one. So here are the rest of my primers. I'm gonna just grab the ones that I know are safe. Tarte, the Timeless Smoothing Primer. This was the first product I ever used that I felt like really actually made a difference on the appearance of my pores. It really helps to fill them in and minimize them. And I've had this for at least a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I've had it for a while and I haven't even hit pan on it yet. It is a little more costly. I think it's like $36. I can put the price right here. But for me and the difference that I saw in my skin upon using this one and have continued to see, I will continue to purchase this one once I do use it up, which I think it'll be a while, probably another 6 months to a year. I use so little of this. Another recent favorite has been from Becca. This is the Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Light to Medium. Tiniest bit of this under concealer, and it does help to make a difference in my dark circles. It has the slightest pink undertone to it, which I also think helps to minimize. You can easily overdo it with this one. If you put too much on, your concealer will slide all over. So the smallest amount, add some more if necessary. But I've really enjoyed adding this to my routine. I'm just going to go ahead and grab all of these. All 5 of these are safe. This is just a mini of Tatcha the Silk Canvas. I have a full size here that I haven't even opened yet. Also the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I tried this, I want to say it was a couple months ago in a video, and I'm also using this one, kind of alternating. This is supposed to be the dupe for this product. I'd love to do a comparison against the two one day. One on the right side, one on the left. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. And then I recently picked up the Liquid Silk Canvas, and I'm also enjoying using this as well. And then the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This really does help to make your foundation last longer. I just haven't been wearing foundation as much, of course, with wearing a face mask and also just the summer heat. I'm already someone who generally wears tinted moisturizer more, but I really haven't had a need for this primer in a while. But I know I will be using it more come fall and winter time. And then this is where we need to do some decluttering. These are primers I don't really reach for. Right off the bat, Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. This was my favorite at one point, and I still use it. I just haven't reached for it in a while. I've used a ton of it, and it's I probably avoided using it because it was getting to the point where it was hard to get out of the bottle. I think I'm gonna put this on the top of my vanity and maybe put it upside down just to get the last bit out of there. You can't really see because it's built up on the sides, but there is quite a divot in here. So that's probably why I stopped using it. That's so me. I will just open something new rather than actually completing or emptying a product. And that's why I do declutters and project pans, because I need to keep myself accountable. I've seen recently that First Aid is no longer cruelty free, so I'm gonna go ahead and just declutter this one. You can see on the bottom, that means that I received it as gratis from work, so I didn't actually pay for this one. I did like this the couple times I used it, but when something isn't cruelty free, and if I'm not like completely obsessed with it and trying to use it up off camera, I know this product will just sit if I keep it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that one. Decluttering this is Too Faced Primed and Peachy. I feel like I had this in a project pan at some point. It was too mattifying for me. There's only a little bit left, but I think I got this. I want to say I got it in a set that came with the Peach Perfect Setting Powder that I really enjoy. I bought this kind of as like a bonus item within that set, and I don't think I need it, so I'm going to declutter this one. Also, the All-Star from ColourPop. I've used this a couple of times. In the beginning of my channel, I did a full face of ColourPop trying out their products for the first time. And this at the time was the only primer they had. And I generally try to avoid mattifying primers, but I bought it because I needed one for that video, and I haven't reached for it much since. Blur Stick from Milk Makeup. This was also purchased as a set. It was a bunch of these roll-up type products that I had gotten in a cute bag. I haven't used this enough to really know my thoughts on it, so I think I will keep this around. And then the last three primers in my collection, the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. I want to say this is the one that is a favorite of my friend Amanda's, and that's why I picked it up for a video. I've only used this once or twice, and I can't remember my thoughts on it. I think I liked it. This is the problem when you have too much. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. Again, this is another one that I think will be beneficial in the winter time. Angel Veil Primer from NYX. I purchased this for a video in the beginning of my channel, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it because I also have a second one. I can't really remember my thoughts on this. I haven't reached for it in probably over a year. And if I decide to, I can just go ahead and open the one that is not opened, because this will probably expire before I actually do get to it. This one isn't even open, so I'm gonna hold on to it. I don't think I bought this by itself. It was probably a deluxe sample. Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's the pore minimizing version. Do you guys like the original one? I know that is a cult favorite for many people. Concealers next. This one isn't a concealer. It says color correcting fluid. It's the light pink one from Urban Decay. You can see how much I've scraped the sides of this. I think it was in my first ever project pan. It's going. I don't use this. All right, recent faves, going to go through quickly and grab Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. I love this one so much. It is more of a light to medium coverage. It can be built up a tiny bit, nowhere near full coverage. Sometimes I do wear this over the Becca Under Eye Corrector if I want more. What makes this unique to me is that it is truly hydrating, but it never creases. And typically if I find a concealer that is hydrating enough for my under eye, it cracks and separates before I even get powder on there. So this I'm keeping, going to try to use the last bit of it, and I've already bought a backup. The only thing with this is that the shade range is atrocious, and I wish they would make more. And then this one is from Pacifica. It's the Liquid Cover Full Coverage Lasting Concealer. I really haven't tried much makeup from Pacifica, and I've been experimenting with this one, both under my eyes and then also for cover-ups on my face. It's a little dark for my under eye, unless I do pair it with something to brighten like the Becca that I mentioned before. I'm liking this one so far though, so I will hold on to this. Same thing for these two concealers, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh as well as the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I've been using these two when I want more coverage than what the Flower Beauty one provides. That one I wear pretty much every day for work, and then these are what I reach for when I want to actually do a full face of makeup. These are the ColourPop No Filter Concealers. I purchased these because of Raw Beauty Christy, hands down. She's the person that made me want these. I had 3 at one point, and I think I either finished one up completely or I threw it away because it started to look kind of liquidy. This was before ColourPop came to Ulta, and I kept purchasing these because I didn't get the right shade match the first time. So I ended up with 3. And like the All-Star Primer, I felt like I had to purchase this for a video because this was the only concealer ColourPop carried at the time. I'm going to keep one of these, this one, because it's what I use for my cut crease. It's the lighter of the two. This one is starting to separate and I don't need that on my face. So I'm going to declutter that one. And just for reference, this is light 10 that I am decluttering, and then Pharaoh 8 is the one I'm keeping. KVD Lock-It Concealer in the shade White. I bought this for cut creases. I mean, it still looks okay. I think I'm going to keep it. Tarte Shape Tape makes me laugh because it was all the hype for at least a year, maybe even longer. This is the only concealer anyone used, but I need something that's more hydrating than this one, so I'm going to declutter it. Also, I haven't reached for this in like a year. Same thing for this one. This is the BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer. I purchased this for a drugstore video. It was too drying, too yellow, going to declutter. And then we have all of my setting powders, which I hardly ever use setting powders anymore. At one point, there wasn't a chance in hell that I was going to put on concealer and not set it, and now I rarely do. I think I've just found concealers that work for me that I don't need to set. These 3 aren't necessarily like your normal powders. So we have Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. I think this was too dark for my under eyes in the one video that I did try it. I feel like though I should probably try this at least one more time to see if that is the case or if I'm just getting it mixed up with another product. I'll try this out and then declutter it if it doesn't work out. Hourglass, this is the Ambient Dim Light Lighting Powder. For a time there, I was putting this on underneath my eyes to just give a more blurred effect, and I did really like it. I just got away from doing that. Just like all the other Hourglass powders, swatching them really doesn't do anything, but it just overall softens and blurs a touch. I should also mention I do have the Hourglass Ambient Edit Volume 4. That one has 2 of these powders in it, and I think it has dim light. I can't remember, but I'm definitely not decluttering this. I don't think I ever could really declutter Hourglass just with the cost of the product, but for the most part, I really do enjoy their products. There haven't been any that have just been complete duds. And then from Urban Decay, this is the Velvetizer. I don't know if they even sell this anymore. It says it's a translucent mix-in medium. I think you're supposed to be able to mix this product with liquid products such as foundation to give it more of a blur or smoothing effect. I think that's what this is for. I did use this at one point in time, but now I can't even remember. I've had this for a while. I am going to declutter this. It's just not something that I reach for. And I have to admit, I probably bought this for the packaging. I love all things velvet. ColourPop No Filter Setting Powder. I'm going to declutter this one. It's too drying. I also feel like it leaves a bit of a white cast to it. And then Milani Translucent Light to Medium. The only reason why I'm tempted to keep this is because it's a powder, so I know it won't go bad, at least not as quickly as a liquid product. I did buy this year for my drugstore virgin video, and I just wasn't paying attention when I purchased this. I tried to use it under my eyes, and it was just too dark to do so. It was too yellow under my eyes. But I also don't know if I will reach for this for my entire face either. I would probably more quickly reach for a pressed powder if I wanted to put something over my foundation or over my tinted moisturizer. I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter it because I don't think I'm gonna reach for it. Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. I've never tried their veil product, this one, or their powder foundation. And although no one really talks about Bare Minerals on YouTube specifically, I do see this product as well as their powder foundation purchased all the time at my store at Ulta. If you guys have tried that foundation, I would be curious to know your thoughts on it, or this veil. I need to put this in my top drawer so that I remember to use it. Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I love this powder and the way it makes my under eyes look. It helps to smooth and blur, and it never gets cakey. There's some setting powders that once I put them over my under eye, there's this cakey patchiness that happens, and that never happens with this one. Peach Perfect as well. I also really like this setting powder. These are the 2 I will reach for when I do decide that I need one. Only thing to note is that this smells so strong. Whenever I use this, I always end up tasting it in my mouth. And it's a very artificial peach kind of fragrance. This is the Flower Beauty Miracle Glow Satin Finishing Powder. I use this a handful of times around the time that I did a video testing out Flower Beauty. I do love the packaging. I think it's really cute. It's got a little puff in here. But yeah, I really haven't used this much. I'm going to keep it. I'll do my liquid foundations next. These are all the pressed powders that I have. See, I didn't even realize I have a Bare Minerals loose foundation. I'm fairly certain this was given to me. I'll have to try this out to see if I like it. And then the Smashbox Halo. This is the Halo Fresh Perfecting Powder in the shade Fair Light. I got this through Influencer, and I used this a couple of times around, making a mess. Around the time that they sent it to me, that I was doing my reviews for it, and I liked it, but this is not the kind of product I regularly reach for. I'm not going to declutter it though because it is new. So before I worked for Ulta, I worked for Ebates for a very long time, and I used only their makeup exclusively for at least 5 years. I wore their tinted moisturizer, and then I used their pressed powder. This is the lightest one in the shade Cream. I'm sure it's disgusting because I left it in my makeup bag and I just used this disgusting sponge to apply it on an everyday basis. I can't tell you the last time I reached for this. It's getting decluttered. One cool thing about their makeup though is everything is magnetic and then fits into a compact. This I've just kept in the little plastic clamshell. I would throw it into my purse for easy access. This is old too, from Kat Von D. I mentioned in my last declutter video, I haven't purchased from her since the whole fiasco that happened. It's the Lock-It Powder Foundation in the shade Light 44. I do occasionally use this over tinted moisturizer when I want more coverage. And I have hit a pan on this. So I'm gonna continue to try to see if I can use this up. Before getting into liquid foundations, this one pretty much stands on its own. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Fair. I often forget to use this product, but I do like the way it makes my skin look. It has a doe foot, and it's not quite a highlighter. It just gives a really nice healthy glow. So when I do remember to reach for this, I usually will put a little bit like above the point of my brows, on my cheekbones. It's just a really subtle glow, and you can use this over or under foundation. It just gives a really beautiful luminosity to the skin. Definitely keeping. This is not going to be pretty, but this is all of my foundations. Most of these are dirty and just gunked up. Tinted moisturizer, the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I've tried so many tinted moisturizers over the years, and this one is hands down my favorite. It's in like the top 10 of products for me, and I think I have 2 backups of this. This is in the shade Opal. It's the lightest shade. Compared to other tinted moisturizers I've used in the past, it does give me that light coverage that I want, but it doesn't crease, which is a problem I've had with other ones. Helps to conceal a little bit of redness, and it wears really well throughout the day, and it also gives me the SPF of 30. I haven't been wearing it or anything on my face really, except for on my days off because of wearing a mask, and just with sweat and humidity, I haven't really been tempted to even attempt to do a full face of makeup. Recently, I've just been wearing concealer, maybe a little bit of blush and a highlight, but not actual complexion products, but I will get back to this once it starts to cool off. I just realized I forgot a stick. I'm just gonna grab the ones I like and that are safe. Pure, the 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. I just bought a backup of this. It is my favorite foundation and pretty much the only one I wear when I do wear foundation. I did use yesterday, I used the Born This Way from Too Faced. I forgot how much I like this one. This is in the shade Snow. It did break up a little bit on my chin towards the end of the day, but I also like touch my face a lot. But I like the coverage and wear of this one. Same thing with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. This one is more luminous, it's more dewy, and it is a light to medium coverage that can be built. I'm going to be keeping those 3. I haven't reached for either one of these in a while, but I do like both of these. These are both stick foundations. The first one being from Hourglass. This one's getting pretty old. I bought this a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. The porcelain shade. This is something I reach for more in the winter time. And I do generally have to set this one with something, but I do like the look of it. And same thing with the Bare Minerals one. This is in the shade Opal. I feel like this was getting really good reviews when it came out, and then I don't see a lot of people talk about it anymore. But I'll be holding on to both of these. By Changemaker Foundation. This one is in the shade L10. I did a review and wear test with this one in the beginning of the year. haven't reached for it too much since, but like I said, I really haven't been wearing foundation much. Funny thing with this one is it looks better after it's been on the skin for about an hour, I'd say. It kind of melts into the skin more and mixes with your own oils. Well, I don't really have any natural oils, but it settles in and looks better after some time. So if you do purchase this one or try this one out, don't freak out when you first put it on. I wouldn't say it's like my absolute favorite, but I don't regret purchasing it either. Going to keep. The other one I want to keep because I think I've only used this once. It's the NYX Born to Glow in the shade Vanilla. I think I used this once for a video and didn't try it again. Someone raved about this, and I think it was Teresa's Dead, or maybe she raved about the concealer. I can't remember. I purchased this because someone really enjoyed it, and I purchased this for my drugstore virgin video and only used it in that video. So keeping to try out more. And then these three can go. This one is from ColourPop. It's the No Filter Foundation. I purchased this for the video that I keep mentioning. It's too mattifying for me. I do really, really love the bottle, but I can't keep it for that reason alone. I want to try their new one though, the Pretty Fresh, the more hydrating one. And then these I purchased because of Taylor Wynn. I always want to say the Taylor. Also purchased for a video, and I got 2 shades. I think actually George hunted these down for me, and he got 2 shades because I wasn't there in person to see. Taylor raved about this foundation in so many videos, and I remember thinking it was just okay, not enough to reach for it anymore. They're both full, but they have been sitting for a while, and I think they have also been discontinued. I think the whole entire brand is no longer. Going to declutter. And lastly, we have setting sprays, which I think is going to be actually kind of hard for me to declutter because I like most of these and I probably won't get rid of too much. I also use setting spray pretty much every time I wear makeup, so having a lot around doesn't bother me too much. My all-time fave, the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I don't do my makeup without this. Whenever someone compliments my makeup or just says it looks really natural, I always attribute it to this product. It just helps everything melt into the skin. I love the luminosity that this gives my skin. The spray radius on it is pretty good. It does kind of smell like baby powder, a little bit stronger than baby powder, but that does dissipate after a while. I highly recommend if you like that dewy kind of look and you haven't tried them yet. I have 2 from Milani. I'm gonna scoot these over. Make It Last. This claims to have a 16-hour wear. And then I recently purchased this one as well. I actually forgot I had this when I purchased this one. These are new, and I think there's 4 different types. This is the Mango Coconut. I may save this for first impressions or a get ready with me. Either way, I'm keeping both of these. I have the chill version of the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. And I can't remember if this is actually chill or if I poured All-Nighter into it. Something's telling me I did that, but I don't remember why. I also have the Skindinavia, the Makeup Fixing Spray, which is the same thing. They actually make Urban Decay's formula. And I just purchased a backup of this one off of FabFitFun at a discount. For the most part, when I am filming or if I really just want my makeup to last, I will use the Catrice Prime and Fine, and then we'll top it with one of these after the first layer dries. And I think it really does make a difference in how long my makeup stays. These aren't going anywhere. I have 5 left, and I think I'm going to keep the rest of them. The only one I don't want in my collection anymore is from Pixi. This is the Glow Mist. I don't hate this, but I much prefer my Catrice one. And I want to say the pump on this isn't very good, or maybe that was another Pixi product. Generally, when I have a setting spray that I don't love for my face, I will use it to dampen my makeup brushes before using a shimmer shade. But I can't do that with this one because it is oil-based, so I'm just going to go ahead and declutter it. I have used the Flower Beauty to dampen my brushes, so I'm going to keep that around. I really love the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I forgot to mention, along with the Skindinavia or the Urban Decay formula, you really just can't beat the mister on this. It is so fine. I need to get a backup of that soon. And then lastly, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. It smells like coconuts. It smells so good. I was using this when I was wearing tinted moisturizer and spraying it on top just for like an extra layer of hydration. And then the other product I have is from Kayla. This is makeup setting spray with an SPF of 30. I purchased this at one point, and I remember the nozzle kept getting clogged, and I think they repackaged and reformulated because that's not an issue any longer. And specifically, I remember when I would spray it out, it would leave little white dots. I think I got this one through Influencer because I know I didn't buy it, but it has little balls in there to help shake up the formula. It has a really fine mist. I can see some dots that it left, but I also sprayed pretty close. I'm thinking this is another one that I could wear with tinted moisturizer. I just gotta remember to use it. Let's quickly go through everything I'm decluttering. 1 setting spray. I knew I wasn't gonna wanna let go of them. I called that. 3 loose powders, 1 pressed powder, 3 foundations, 2 concealers, actually 3 concealers, 4 primers, 1 color corrector, and then the Pacifica oil. Let me know your thoughts on any of the products I showed today, especially if they are ones I'm decluttering. Have you tried these? Did they work out for you or did they not? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to see me and more of my remarks, please subscribe if you're not already. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.